Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. I'm so excited to have this young lady on the show. This is Paris Carter, or Paris Brooke, whatever you'd like. That's her business name. She is an amazing entrepreneur, a creative. She helps keep me in line, if that's even possible, on a daily basis. I'm pretty sure it's community service that she's having to serve in order to help me out. But I know that's not true because she's just a great human being. Paris, welcome to the show. We did it.
Hey, Ted. Thanks for having me.
I'm very excited to have you on here. We were introduced. If I don't give a shout out to Annette Hempill, she'll find me and kill me. So we got to give a shout out to the one and only Annette. She introduced us. I needed some incredible help on so many levels. And so you have been such a big grace. It's been wonderful to work with you. But you do a lot, and you have a great spirit and an amazing story. And so I really want people to get to know you like I do and learn more about you. And of course, learn more about what you can do, because I'm not the only client. So we're going to get you some more people intrigued about what Paris Brooke does. All right. Enough of me talking. Before we went live, I said there's origin story. They love to know a little bit about you. So let's share the 411 on Paris.
Well, thank you again for having me, Ted. Ted is amazing to work with.
Oh my God. I did not pay her to say that, but I will.
But my name is Paris Carter, or Paris Brooke. My actual business name is Paris Brooke. And I am a creative entrepreneur. That is my slogan. I call myself a creative entrepreneur because I do a little bit of everything. And I started actually about 2 years ago. I, like Ted was talking about Annette, I actually started working at T-STEM Incorporated with Dr. Pamela McCauley and Annette. And that's how I ended up working for Ted. But prior to all of that, I actually went to college for STEM, so biology. And I thought I was going to be a doctor one day, a medical doctor or a dentist, but God had other plans for me. And I did end up graduating from college with my bachelor's in biology. And then I ended up in my master's program, which I'm in currently, to do Bible and Theology in hopes to become a Christian counselor one day. And with all of that, I have somehow ended up in this creative space with social media management and content creating. I actually serve under Mr. Randy McCain, he is a leader of this nonprofit organization called Metro Warrior STEM Organization. And it's a youth program that helps underrepresented children to be exposed to STEM, because everyone doesn't have the same opportunities as all of us. So I started doing content for them as well. So that has been the start of my journey. And
you've done such amazing things, which I want to get to. And I want to talk about the creative side and about social media management, which is just, God, there's so many charlatans out there. We'll talk about that too. But I want to get back to you got your biology degree, but your master's degree is you want to be a Christian counselor. What was the impetus there? What led you to that? Because those, to me, seem like they are incongruent.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. Honestly, they go hand in hand more than people think. Without God, there is no science, in my opinion. But I ended up changing my route. Before I actually declared my biology degree, I wanted to actually go into psychology because I was always interested in people and what they think and why they do the things that they do, and just helping. I love to help, and that's what I wanted to do, specifically with families. So after I finished my biology degree, I felt led to go back to that road of going back to helping people. So I realized counseling was, I guess, the best thing for me personally. And believe it or not, it took for my dad to pass away. I lost my dad back in 2019, but it took my dad to pass away transparently. That led me to be more intentional with God. And that's when I actually, not too long after that, I gave my life back to God. Because before I was just being a young teenager doing whatever I wanted to do. So that honestly settled me and made me realize like life is super short and it's not a joke. So I had to really get my life in order. So I did that. And that's when I felt led to go back to what God was originally leading me to, which was counseling.
What
And
do you
that's
want to accomplish there? Do you want to be, want to have a private practice? Do you want to work for a large organization? What's in your mind? What's the ultimate goal?
if I have it my way, I would love to do my counseling through my business, and just have that as another branch to this platform that I'm trying to build. That would be my goal, and it would be considered a private practice. But my main idea is to really just even working within a church. I'm fine with that as well if that's how it turns out. But my ultimate goal is to just help families and keep families together. I feel like a lot of times we are so used to having divided families in society. And I think it's important to understand like a lot of times it's just conversations that need to be had. And I just want to be the person, the advocate, the person in the middle that, helps people talk about stuff. And I came from a single parent home. My dad was in my life, but it was just, I have grown up and experienced what it looks like to have a divided family in a sense. But even though, like, of course, like my parents worked it out and I'm here, I'm alive and I'm well. But I would like to help other families who may be going through things like that and to avoid having to deal with that or other kids having to deal with it. So that's my ultimate goal, is just to help people get through stuff that I may have experienced myself, but also to avoid people going through things that they don't necessarily have to go through. So
Sure, you have a gift and you want to impart that wisdom and that experience, which I think we could all use. What I love is that, back in the old day, any kind of counseling and the church were very separate. And it has come a long way. And I love the fact that the church has become more acceptable of, hey, you know what? Counseling is not the work of the devil. It is real and it's a science. I'm with you too, that God gave us. I am always amazed at people who question that. So kudos to you. So you've got that, which is helping people. That's good. That's a very altruistic. It's good for the soul. And then you have this whole creative side. And I feel like the counseling probably helps, because now that I'm thinking about it, you're like my bartender / counselor / pastor / whatever, because my world is insane. And I'm sure I know Annette's is, and I know Dr. Pamela's is. And so that is a great gift to have when you're dealing with any kind of entrepreneurial thing when it comes to social media or management or anything like that. So let's talk about the creative side. For me, it's multi. We're learning. We're about a month tomorrow. And we're learning that there's a lot that I need help with. But talk about the creative side, because social media management, which is what you're one of the things you're helping me with. There are so many people out there who overcharge and underdeliver, overpromise and underdeliver, because I think a lot of people go, hey, Paris, I know I want to do better on my social media, but I have no idea. And then they get with somebody who they charge them XYZ amount every month, and then they get nothing out of it. And then, of course, they're the ones that are bad-mouthing anybody on the social media management train. So talk about what you do. What approach did you do? We can use me, or you can use Annette or whomever. What approach do you take when a client comes to you?
So I'll use Ted because he graciously gave me the platform to be on here to talk. So Ted, he obviously does this like show. He has a platform, a very good platform, and he also is into the real estate and what is it called, Ted? Like the mortgage life.
I'm mortgage, yes.
Yeah, mortgage.
In the mortgage world, which we are working on.
Yep. So he's in the mortgage world, and he does a lot too. So my biggest thing with him when I first was introduced to Ted was he needed to organize. And I'm a big organizer in my personal life. So the biggest thing was, okay, Ted, well, what can we do to organize you? And what do you need me to help with? Where do my hands need to be that you can actually take your hands off of?
And if y'all don't believe miracles happen, this is a modern miracle right here, I can tell you.
And honestly, I think it's just understanding what your client wants and what they need, but also being realistic that if someone is expecting something from you, or they want a specific I guess, expectation that they have on you, you have to understand like if you can actually do that or not, being realistic, because at the end of the day, it comes to, okay, are we a good fit? And sometimes it's okay that if you're not, because like you said, some people may overcharge or even charge what they should charge, but the expectation may not be talked about from the beginning. So if that's not clear, a lot of times people are not necessarily getting what they wanted, but a lot of times it's miscommunication. But I believe understanding thoroughly what your client wants, what you can and cannot do, and being real with them, and honestly, telling them like, hey, like I understand like you need help with this, but I don't know. And like I told you, like we talk about TikTok. I
We
don't
did.
know.
We talked about it.
We talk about those things. And instead of me saying, oh yeah, Ted, I know how to do TikTok, I just tell, I don't know, Ted, but we can learn it. We can figure it out.
Well, that's the thing too. I love that. And I'm glad you brought that example up, because that's a new thing I'm trying to venture into.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also part of me being a creative, that I have all these ideas and then I need help implementing and organizing them, which is why a Paris who is both creative and organized is such a blessing for somebody like me, because you can listen to my ideas. What my experience with you has been, it's like a one and done. I tell you what I'm looking for, and then you take it and run with it. I actually had somebody, which I just remembered now, but I need to give you kudos, who does similar to what you do, said, I love whatever you're doing with your social media today. They actually brought it up. So these are the kinds of things that somebody like me, who has all the ideas and resources, and I have a presence already, and I just need somebody to get me to the next level. You've been incredibly patient with that. And I think it's so important to have somebody like that. If I had come to you and said, hey, I want to have 20,000 followers by the end of the week, Paris. Now we're back to the, true expectations here. Let's set the boundaries. And that's where I believe you're right. A lot of people in your industry and what you do, they don't give the right information, and they tell the client what they want to hear instead of what they need to hear.
I agree. And I think that is important. Like you said, patience it's a virtue, because I think you have to be patient. Honestly, I don't even think. I know you have to be patient because at the end, especially with this whole virtual world that we live in now, a lot of times I believe it's different deliverables when you're in person, and you can set everything on the table and say, hey, this is what this is. But me and you communicate virtual all the time. Like I've only known you virtually. So it's even, you have to over communicate. And I believe as a social media manager or even a content creator for people's platforms, the biggest thing is over communicating. You have to over communicate, because there could be things that, you're like, okay, Paris, you think we can implement this new thing? Cool. We can do that, Ted. But then, it's crickets for a week and I don't say anything, and I could be actively working on it. But if I'm not saying, hey, Ted, just checking in, I've been doing this, I added this, you wouldn't know. And I think it's just understanding, I think the communication of it, understanding that you have a busy life, I have a busy life, but still like giving that I don't know what to call it, like that space to communicate. And we have our weekly meetings. I think it's imperative to have a weekly meeting or some type of check-in to make sure we're on one accord. Or I have this thing that I do on Excel. It's a content spreadsheet. So things that are being scheduled and things like that. And Ted, he likes that. So it's good for him to, when he has his downtime, he goes in there, looks at the content, approves it. If it's good to go, then, I'll go ahead and schedule it out. And, it's just making.
What I love too about you, there's many things, but some of the things that are difficult from your perspective is trying to figure out what your client's voice is. Mm-hmm. I know people in the past, when they've hired a social media or content manager creator, when they hire them, I can tell immediately why. It's not because stuff's better. It's because it sounds like a robot did it. So I think understanding what you're great at, one of the things is you caught on to what my voice is, what it sounds like when I write something. Because people can tell immediately. I would get a message when I've engaged somebody in the past. Oh, Ted, who you got? Somebody wrote something. It's not right. It doesn't sound like you. And that's a gift, because that's what we want. We need somebody to replicate what we would say, put it in a much more creative space like you do, with better content, better graphics, better everything, and get our message out. Because we, as entrepreneurs, as creatives, because I am a creative, just not an implementer like I want to be, we have the ideas, we have the voice, we know what we want, and then we need somebody to communicate that as if it's from us, but better. And that's what you do. You take the content, you make my content better than the basic I had. The basic I had worked, yes, but did I like it? No, I was bored with it. So if I'm bored with it as the creator, guess what? My audience, your audiences are bored with it. If you're putting up the same picture all the time, all my real estate friends, for the love of God, stop with the key at closing. Yes, we all know that you close and it's a big giant key, but there's got to be something more. Give a story, share a story. And so what Paris does is listens to you and then helps you create your story in a voice that sounds just like you, almost in a scary way, which is great for me. And I think that's where a lot of social media content creator people miss out. They put it in their voice and they don't hear the voice of the person that's trying to communicate it.
Right. And I think that's important too, because a lot of times hiring a social media manager or even a content creator, because honestly, I offer both services. So content creating specifically, I could create posts for you. And even if you want to keep your voice, I think that is the best route, because I can create the content, but you're left up to do the captions or the tagging or the engagement part. But if I'm solely your social media manager, then I'm in charge of all of that. But I think, again, it goes back to those like over communicating, because I wouldn't have understood your voice if I didn't talk to you. So
correct.
And I think,
how do you get, that's the thing I'm always amazed at. Like, how do you build a rapport so that a creative like you, somebody that you engage, that you want to help you, how are they supposed to go out and help you when you're not communicating on a regular basis, where they don't understand what your point of view is? And crickets is one of my least favorite things. I hate it when people ghost or go, you know, all of a sudden I can't hear from them. And I would imagine from your perspective, when you're trying to get out content for someone or trying to create something for someone, if they're not responding, it makes it almost impossible for you to do. On the flip side, Paris, I would guess, I'll speak for you, you also don't want 1 a.m. phone calls every night. I'm up usually around that time, but I try not, I email, I don't text anybody. But it's important to kind of get to know each other on that level. And I think where a lot of social media content people fail is they go, all right, Ted, I know exactly what to do for you because I've cookie cut it for every other client beforehand. And I'm not making it really about you. This is this overall template I have. And so your stuff's going to look exactly like my other 5 clients. I hate that.
Right.
I, as an entrepreneur, as a creative, I need it to reflect me. If it makes it easier for you to tweak things with what you're doing, I have no problem with that. But if I look like every other client you have, something's wrong. We're not communicating, and the content media or the social media or content creator you have, you probably need to reevaluate. And I know plenty of them like that. All right. So are you taking new clients?
Yes, I am taking new clients.
Good. I mean, I want to put that out there because you have a lot of love, by the way, going on all the platforms, actually. You can't see it here, but it's on all the platforms. And we will go back in and respond to y'all. Because I think that's important, because from here, as we promote and continue to do all the wonderful things that you do, how wonderful for you to do it for your own show, people will begin to ask about that. And I want people to be clear. You all know that I've been doing my own social media pretty much on my own for almost 5 years. I can tell you that what Paris brings is me not having to spend every weekend working on stuff for the following week. I'm actually ahead of the game. And by I mean Paris is, which makes me ahead of the game. And so what that does is it allows me to be more creative and to also work on what I do for a living, which is on the mortgage real estate side. And then I'm also able to get the people who come on, especially from the real estate world, more exposure, which is the ultimate goal for me and the show. All right. So parisbrooke.com is where I want you to reach out to Paris. Obviously, she's going to tag herself. I can say that instead of me. I'm not going to tag you. Paris is going to tag herself. She's going to have all of the ways to contact her, how you can reach out to her and learn more about what she does. But parisbrooke.com is one way. And of course, on any of the social media platforms that she is. You and I both know it is Women's History Month. Thanks to you, I have, and this is true, thanks to Paris, even though I would have eventually gotten on that bandwagon, I don't always know in advance. And she suggested, why don't we do a Women's History Month focus? So as part of that, I'm asking all of the guests, when I say the word hero, who is the first woman that comes to mind for you?
I would say my mom.
Listen, it's literally I'm pretty sure it's the number one answer. Why?
I would say my mom, because she invested a lot of her time, a lot of money, a lot of her life to get me to where I'm at today. My dad definitely helped too, but my mom, like she was an active person to drive me to cheerleading when I wanted to go, or take me to this, to school when I needed to go, or even in college, like every day I commuted with her. So she actively she invested her time. She invested a lot of stuff. So I would say she's definitely my hero. From a woman perspective, I would say her for sure.
Beautiful. I love that. It's funny. I've had people go, this is embarrassing and cliche, and they tell me that. And in reality, I think it's beautiful. Why not give test if that you have a relationship like that? Nothing's too cliche.
Right.
All right, Paris. Amazing. parisbrooke.com. Reach out to Paris if you guys are struggling with your social media, any kind of management, any kind of help. You want to get your life organized, your social media organized. I really encourage you to reach out to Paris. Annette, don't be mad at me trying to get Paris more business. But that's what we do here. So hopefully Annette will not get on because she hates social media. But I'm going to send it to her anyway. You're a joy. You are a blessing. I want to tell everybody how grateful I am for you. You put up with my insanity and my changes and my schedule, and you do it with such grace and patience. So thank you for that. And I'm incredibly appreciative and thankful for you. All right, guys, get with Paris Carter, parisbrooke.com. We'll see you guys back here at 3 o'clock. Bye.